Hi guys, hope you're doing well. Today we'll see 5 fake healthy foods. If you're in the fitness community, in the fitness industry, just know that you've been lied to. There are a lot of healthy foods that in reality are poisoning you. And you need to be very careful about what you're buying at the grocery store. So today we'll see 5 fake healthy foods, and of course for each one of those foods we'll see some alternatives. So make sure to stay till the end. So firstly, we got dates. What dates are not that healthy? Of course, it's pretty nuanced, right? Theoretically, dates are healthy. They are rich in natural sugars, in fibers, which helps digestion, and also they are loaded with magnesium and potassium, which are 2 minerals that most people don't get enough these days through their diets. But in reality, if you're careful and you actually look at the package of one box of dates, you'll see in the ingredient list that there are a bunch of added things. Added sugar, added glucose syrup, food dye, weird chemicals that are poison, and that's how a good healthy food turns into a bad food. So to prevent that, it's pretty simple. Look at the ingredients and pick the dates with only one ingredient, dates. Nothing added, no glucose syrup, not bullshit like this. And if you can, what's even better is to take dates that are not preserved in plastic, alright? Next, if you want to get healthy, you must avoid the majority of ground beef. Ground beef is red meat. Red meat is good, it's healthy, it's nature, of course. But it's like dates, right? They add a bunch of weird stuff to it. Plus, and that's the most important part, most meats come from cows that are not raised in good conditions. In fact, the conditions are terrible. They are pinned with antibiotics, with steroids, literally steroids. They are fed garbage, like real garbage. They live in a cage, they don't see the sun, and then what you need to realize is that the conditions of the farming are then reflected in the condition of the food. So if you're eating ground beef from a cow that is raised in terrible conditions like this, then you're eating garbage, basically. So to prevent that, eat organic, grass-fed, grass-finished, all the labels you want to make sure that the meat is clean. The problem with that is that meat is pretty expensive, let's get real. So a cheaper alternative is most fish, right? It's like fish, like sardines for example, are pretty clean, high in protein, rich in high quality fats, omega-3 fatty acids, which is what you want when you're eating meat in the first place, right? Protein, healthy fats, and some minerals, so don't worry. If you eat sardines, for example, or herrings or mackerel, they're healthy, they're cheaper, and they can replace, to a certain extent, ground beef. Now, the third food to avoid is smoothies, or most juices. On paper, fruits are extremely healthy, rich in vitamins, minerals, natural sugars, just like dates. But if you look closely at the ingredient list, there's a bunch of added sugars, there's a lot of preservatives, of additives, and there's not that much fibers, right? I don't mean to say that the only reason why you're eating fruits is fiber, but still, the fact that the smoothie doesn't have any fiber makes the product even worse. So the alternative is make your own juice, your own smoothies with whole fruits at home, or just eat the whole fruits, the whole pineapple, the whole apple, the whole banana, whatever. Eat it, just the entire fruit. The next fake healthy food is tuna. And the reason why it's a fake healthy food is not the main reason you've heard, right? You've heard the traditional tuna are poisoned because of sea pollution. Of course, we all know this. Actually, if you eat tuna once or twice a week, there's no big deal. But the reason why I say this is that tuna is purely protein. Protein is good, of course we need protein, but there's no minerals, there's no vitamins, there's nothing except protein. And actually, to be healthy, to live a clean life, to perform well, to think clearly, to thrive in general, you don't need only macronutrients, but you also need micronutrients like magnesium, potassium that I've mentioned before. So if you eat just plain rice with plain tuna, it's not that awesome, right? You get your calories in, but you don't get vitamins and minerals. So tuna, sea pollution, not that much micronutrients, not at all actually. So you can eat that once or twice a week, but the rest of the time opt for more nutrients-rich foods like sardines, herrings, mackerel, or high-quality organic ground beef. Or opt for one of the best protein sources on earth, if not the best, eggs. And finally, the last fake healthy food is granola and granola bars. They often sell you that thing with a big packaging like healthy breakfast, healthy thing, healthy stuff. It's not. Loaded with added sugars, loaded with preservatives, loaded with hydrogenated seed oils. They're extremely calorie dense, they don't fill you up, and they're often very low in protein. And even if there is protein, like granola protein or just protein bars. And by the way, protein bars, you can put that in the same category. Protein bars is just purely protein, but there's a lot of added sugars, there's no minerals, there's a lot of food dye, of artificial sweeteners. So just because there's protein doesn't mean that it's healthy, just like tuna. And same for granola. Granola, it's basically carbs. Most of the calories come from carbs. And you may say, well, I need carbs before my workout or after my workouts. But if it's carbs coming from poison, what's the point? So be careful. Each time you're at the grocery store and you want to buy granola or a protein bar, be extremely careful, because 99% of them are just complete BS. Look at the ingredient list. If sugar or syrup is in the top 3 ingredients, don't buy it. And the best case scenario is of course to avoid that and to buy only whole foods. And actually that's the principle that follows this whole video and that you should follow in your whole diet. The less ingredients, the better. That's the principle, right? Keep that in your mind for a minute. We humans, we are animals, we've been living in the woods, in nature for millions of years, and it's only 100 years ago that we invented ultra-processed foods, food dye, preservatives, artificial sweeteners. It's only been 100 years that we have that, but before that, for millions of years, again, we've been only eating natural, healthy foods. So our bodies are not adapted to processed foods. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. To recap pretty quickly, the 5 foods are dates, ground beef and most meats, tuna, smoothies, and granola. Avoid those foods, eat clean, eat healthy, eat the foods with the less ingredients possible, and I hope it's gonna help you to thrive. If it did, please let me know in the comments, leave a like, subscribe to my channel as well, and click the bell button, and I'll see you next time.